Hello everyone, my name is Jaylin Jones, digital producer here at WRAL. If you're watching this video, make sure you like this video. Also, make sure that you're subscribed. It's totally free, doesn't sign you up for anything. But what it does to make sure is that the latest information is in your feeds and you guys stay informed on WRAL News. Now here today, we're talking a little bit of a somber story. Parents, this is a warning. Make sure that you guys are checking your kids' devices and those school laptops. Well, here in Wake County, Alex Littlehales here at WRAL broke some news. Some kids are playing this game called Five Nights at Epstein's. It's kind of a play on a horror game, Five Nights at Freddy's. Either which way, it's inappropriate and it's not good, especially on school devices and on school Wi-Fi. Here's what Alex said Wake County is doing to combat this and to help tighten up IT procedures. And this is what parents can do to help protect their kids. I saw this trending on Twitter a couple weeks ago. Never thought it would come here to the area. What have you found out with kids in Wake County school system?
Yeah, I haven't even didn't realize this was a thing, but I guess when did you see this?
Man, I saw it a couple weeks ago because people were just talking about like, oh, this video game with Jeffrey Epstein and things like that. And I didn't know kids could get access to this through school, through all this IT firewalls things and accessing it on their laptops. What's going on here?
So we got a tip. I think it's worth noting there's very little. It's out there, but there's not a ton of reporting out there when you try to research the story. There just isn't a ton out there. And so I think that makes the story even more interesting. But essentially, we got a tip that it was a tip from a Wake County teacher and parent who wanted to remain anonymous. But they basically said there was and I may try to pull up the tip in a second, but they essentially alluded to the idea that there was a kid, there was a video game being played by kids in Wake County where the gameplay revolved around being on the Epstein Island. So, as we know, convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein has been in the headlines for, months, years now, related to the release of the files and the illegal schemes that he was. We don't have to get into all of that. At this point, the general population knows about Jeffrey Epstein.
You can find the latest on WRAL.com on that. Right. Absolutely.
So the tip was that there was a game being played and kids were accessing it potentially during school hours, potentially potentially on school laptops, that they were playing this Epstein-based game. And then when we started doing a little research on Facebook, we found a lot of parents across the country basically had PSAs out on Facebook saying, hey, you may not be aware of this, but there are kids playing this this Jeffrey Epstein-based video game. The video game is called Five Nights at Epstein's, and it's sort of a play on, there was a horror video game online called Five Nights at Freddy's, so a lot of people, and it's very much in the same style. It's essentially gameplay where you're trying to survive an allotment of time. The difference in this, though, is that this is based on the, obviously, beyond horrific things and allegations related to the Jeffrey Epstein files. And so the idea is that your gameplay is time spent on Jeffrey Epstein's island, and kids are accessing this game through different channels, through different sites, through different download mechanisms, and they're playing it at school, and in some cases using school laptops. And essentially the story that we reported today is that Wake County, so the most populous county in the Raleigh area, confirmed, yes, they have been getting reports of this game being played or at least being accessed. There are several tickets that they received that they're now trying to work through. And so, again, confirmation that this is a game. It is out there. Kids are playing it, and parents and schools everywhere are sort of becoming aware of this.
For people that don't know, Wake County public school system is actually one of the largest in the country. There's a lot of kids, and there's a lot of we're just getting the tickets. We're getting the people that actually say something. There's probably dozens of hundreds of kids that are doing it undercover.
Yep. We talked to a mom just about a half hour before this. Talked to a mom that said that her 12-year-old kid told her that like all the kids are playing it at school, and essentially they're able to access different links and websites to download the game and play the game through a shared like Google Doc or a Google Drive. And Yeah, so we know that this is not just like a one-off instance from a parent that, we have the tip, we have the social media posts, we have this one mom who went on the record with us and said, my 12-year-old told me that like all these kids are playing it. So it's definitely, I think the frustration there is that at the moment, this mom, feels like, how are these kids able to access this content through, kind of normal channels through school technology, right? And so basically now what we know is that Wake County is responding to it. They're trying to preventatively look at the websites that are where this game's being accessed. They're trying to block it. Like I said, multiple tickets on it. But this is
there's a lot of access points for kids to get to this site, to get to this game. And it's going to take an army of IT people to try to track this down and to prevent it as well. I want to talk a little bit about how important tips are with this story and to kind of getting stories in general, and how important it is for the public to help us inform other parents with this.
Well, this mom told us that she posted this game or the existence of this game in a local Facebook group, and from other moms or from other parents that work here at WRAL organically actually saw that post of the woman that we talked to, saw that post like days ago before we like really like dove in and started looking into this. So like this has been out in the space, right? And I think that what the parent commented when she talked to us was that I brought this up in this local mom's Facebook group, and a lot of the parents that were commenting had no idea this was a thing. Yeah. So when you talk about tips, a big consideration is, the school can only do so much with the knowledge that they're armed with. So, it seems that in the last couple of days, the school district and parents have been catching on to this. But I think that there's a lot of parents that still don't know that this is a thing. And so there's obviously a conversation of how do I, without, infringing on my kids' privacy per se, but how do I make sure that the things that they're accessing that are meant to be for school, how do we make sure that stuff is safe and is meant to be used in the way it's supposed to? So yeah, when you talk about tips, I mean, the school, as you mentioned, they have 2 support tickets for this. They're working off those, but I think if you were to ask the mom that we talked to today, I think that there's more than 2 people that are aware of this being an issue amongst the student population. So. Absolutely.
And parents, parents have to inform other parents about what's going on with their kids as well. And I think the tough last question that we're going to close out with, what should parents do? And I think that's kind of what you're still figuring out here. Am I right? What should parents do? Obviously, limit screen time. If you can check your kids' devices regularly in that regard. Ask them what they're doing in school. Get to know your kids. What are some other things that parents could do?
Well, I think you mentioned all the things that a good parent or, that parents would normally be doing, right, is asking the right questions, making sure that the technology that they're armed with at school is safe, it is secure, that it's being used properly. And I'm trying to look over my notes from the statement that we got from Wake County. And here's one thing that's worth noting. I mean, so like school divisions and districts already have blockers in place to prevent kids from accessing certain material. The problem, though, is that if there are other websites that the blocker's not catching, then, how many times does a game get downloaded or played before the school's even aware that this site wasn't being caught or restricted by the blocker? So
because the kids aren't going to say nothing.
And they acknowledge, too, I'm trying to pull up. If a game is hosted on a website that is not already restricted, staff may report it for review, and the district can block access as appropriate. In addition, personal devices connected to the school network are subject to the same internet filtering protections while using school Wi-Fi.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, I think this really is a product of the school has to respond based on the information they have, and the more information they have, obviously, the more proactive they can be. But it definitely seems like at the moment some of these websites and some of the ways to access this game are kind of being bypassed through the channels that were in place before.
Absolutely, absolutely. I guess to close out with this, if you're a parent that would love to talk to Alex about this, or you have a kid or know some more information about this, definitely go on WRAL.com/report it. We have a full thing that you can fill out the information. We'll love to hear from you about this. Did you have any other things on this?
I think it's just worth noting, the county is, we have Facebook, and part of our story tonight will be, connected with half a dozen parents, some in Ohio, some in California. There are parents everywhere that are talking about this. We just happen to be based in Raleigh, and we talked to one parent who confirmed that, yes, this is an issue. Wake County, as it pertains to us here, is, they're working through it. They were gracious enough to send a very thorough explanation of the issue when we asked them for a response. We asked them, 7-8 questions, and they have a pretty lengthy response that you could find on our website. So they are obviously not saying, this isn't a big deal, don't worry about it. They have responded a good deal to the initial inquiry that we sent. But there are lingering questions of, should parents know more? What can parents do with the specific game? 2 reports now. Will there be other reports potentially as kids learn other new ways to potentially access the game? So
yeah, probably, especially as teachers read this report and figure out, they know what to look for. Parents,
right,
check your kids' devices. You guys know what to look for, and I think we're going to stay on top of this story here at WRAL.